Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Telos Ranquet MyStory. This board features Telos's full camber tip rocker, which is basically cam rocker for the uninitiated, so you get rocker in the nose, camber throughout the rest of the board. That's going to give you all the load, pop, snap, and drive of this board, while you do have that rocker in the nose, which will give you ease of entry in and out of turns, as well as better butterability and powder float. This board is available in 152, 156, and 159. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on a day that was overcast with the sun breaking through. You had lumpy, choppy terrain, perfect corduroy, a little bit of ice, some heavy pow for good measure, and I rode it with my K2 Thraxis boots and my Rome Black Label bindings. So here's the thing about the flex of this board. It's directional and you get more in the nose that's accentuated by that rocker. It stiffens up through the middle and then gets a little stiffer on the tail. Overall, it comes in just below middle of the road. The torsional flex is noticeable, but it's not so overabundant that you can just twist the board. When it comes to stability, you do get flap under that rocker in the nose that resonates into the front foot. In really choppy terrain, this board can get bucked around. It's one of those boards that's lively. It lets you know that it's lively, so keep your knees bent and just be aware of that. The camber profile on this board is really easy to engage. It feels like a board you've ridden 100 days. It's very mellow camber, so the load isn't super aggressive, but the rebound is nice. It has solid snap to it. You can boost off of a roller, cat track, gap, side hit, whatever, and never worry about it. Now at the time, I didn't really hit any jumps with this thing, but I owned this board last year. I know it can handle jumps, small to medium-ish. You never really have to worry about it. It's got solid spring when it comes to hitting the lip. This board, it does what it needs to do, but it's not so overwhelming that you're just constantly like, oh, I hope I can do this, I hope this does this, or I've got to bring my A game. You can be really laid back with how you engage the pop on it. This is a board that really emphasizes butterability. That rocker in the nose is really easy to get your weight out on, get sideways and play with. The tail, while it is stiffer, you can still sit outside the binding and just feel that lock in. You can swizzle and sizzle till the cows come home. You never have to worry about it. This board just wants to play around. When it comes to jibbing, it's the same thing. It locks into presses with ease. In fact, you can actually almost overpower it. And when you get sideways, that camber section will cradle the feature but not kill you. It locks in, it hugs the feature, it does what it needs to do. This board has a smooth and easy edge-to-edge power transmission. It's somewhat nimble, but if you start to aggressively drive it, you can overpower it, so you need to learn the limitations, which will take you about 4 or 5 laps. Then you'll be like, hey, this is about as hard of a carve as I can do on it. Now, I'm not saying this board can't carve. It can. I'm just saying that if you really try to overpower it, it can wash out on you. It does hold an edge fairly well, and those medium mellow carves are its strong suit. I'm not saying you can't hard carve with it, because I have, but you don't want to do it all the time. You'll just end up overpowering it. Who's this board for? The buttery all-mountain freestyle guy. I owned this board last year, and it's softer than people think it will be, and that's why it's so butterable. It's just a very buttery smooth board. Yes, in rutted out terrain you can get bucked around, keep your knees bent. You just want to be fast and loose with it. If you're a little more calculated and hard driving, you'll notice the limitations of it. Overall, it's a great board. It does just about everything you set out to do with it. Comparable boards: the Jones Stratus, the Nerd Superposition, the Nitro Dropout. Binding recommendations: the Rome Katana, the Union Ultra, the Ride C6. This has been my review of the Telos Ranquet. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Are you going to buy one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this snowboard. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.